Welcome back to Her Living Word, Episode 8, Abigail, Wisdom That Diffuses Anger. David was tired. His men were hungry, and they had shown kindness to a wealthy man named Nabal. But when David asked for provisions, Nabal answered with insults. "Who is David? Who is this son of Jesse?" He mocked. His words cut deep. David's heart burned with anger. This was not just about food. This was about respect, about honor. In that moment, David gathered his men, swords ready. He was on his way to wipe out Nabal's entire household. But there was one person who stood between wrath and ruin. Her name was Abigail. She heard what her husband had said and what David intended to do. She didn't waste time. Abigail gathered bread, wine, sheep already prepared, roasted grain, and cakes of figs. She loaded them onto donkeys and hurried to meet David before the bloodshed could begin. Can you imagine that moment? A woman riding out to face 400 armed men fueled by rage, ready for revenge. Yet Abigail approached with courage. She bowed low before David and spoke words that turned his heart. "Please forgive your servant's offense," she said. "The Lord your God will certainly make a lasting dynasty for you, because you fight the Lord's battles. Let no wrongdoing be found in you as long as you live." She reminded David who he was not just a warrior, but God's chosen king. She lifted his eyes from the insult of a foolish man to the promises of a faithful God. And David stopped. His anger melted in the face of Abigail's wisdom. He said, "Praise be to the Lord who has sent you today to meet me. May you be blessed for your good judgment and for keeping me from bloodshed." Abigail returned home, and soon after, God struck Nabal and he died. Later, David took Abigail as his wife. But the true beauty of her story isn't that she became a queen. It's that she was a peacemaker. She stood in the gap, using humility, discernment, and courage to prevent destruction. Abigail's story shows us the quiet power of wisdom. Anger can burn like a wildfire, ready to consume everything in its path. But one voice, steady, gentle, rooted in God's truth, can turn the tide. So what can we learn from Abigail? Sometimes the bravest act is not to fight fire with fire, but to step in with peace. Sometimes wisdom means moving quickly, taking risks, and speaking words that lift eyes back to God. Her life reminds us that peacemakers can change outcomes, not just for themselves, but for entire families, communities, and even nations. May we be women who, like Abigail, carry wisdom that diffuses anger and brings peace where there is strife.